Ready to make a difference? This is the Palm Harbor Chamber of Commerce podcast, where we connect you with the stories behind our local businesses.
Welcome to the Palm Harbor Chamber podcast. I'm your host, Kert Rhodes, and today we have Father James.
Yes.
Very nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here and meeting you.
Likewise. So, let's jump right into it.
Surely.
Let's jump into the church that you belong to. It's the Saint Raphael, Nicholas, and Irene Greek Orthodox Church.
Correct.
Whew, that was a mouthful.
That was on Riviera Road, next to the library.
All right. Thank you for all the notes and a lot of the church's history and what have you, and the festivals that come up. But Father James, why don't you talk about a little bit about yourself, how you got into it, and how you're involved in the church?
I've been a priest for 54 years. I just had an anniversary. Only 54 years. I was transferred in 1991 to Holy Trinity in Clearwater, Florida, and I was there for 21 years, date to date, and retired. Maybe a little too early, but I retired, and for a year I didn't do anything but fill in for people and whatever I wanted to do. And then I received a call from our bishop asking me if I would be willing to go to Tarpon Springs to our cathedral there because the priest was being transferred and didn't have anybody. And I said, sure, I'll go there temporarily. Temporarily became 3 years. Okay. So I was dean of the cathedral for 3 years. And of course, you know, that's where they do the cross toss at Epiphany and all that. So I was involved with that very highly for 3 years. Okay. And then they did get a priest, and they asked me if I would go to Winter Haven. And I did go to Winter Haven, to St. Sophia's for about 3 years. And that was a trek, but I worked it out anyway. And then our bishop said, I really need you in Palm Harbor at St. Raphael, Nicholas, and Irene. It was a new church. Mm-hmm. And so I said, sure, I'll go there. And I said, bless you, because it's only 11 minutes from my house. So
convenience.
So that's how I landed up at St. Raphael, Nicholas, and Irene. So like I said, 54 years. I've served as a priest, and I have a son who's a priest, my oldest. He's in California, so there we are.
So what do you really enjoy about, what's your enjoyment of being a priest?
What's my enjoyment?
Yeah.
Working with people. Okay. Working with the people, seeing whatever I can do to help them, and being able to do services and worship with them.
Okay. And what different services do you guys have at the church? I mean, I know it's a Greek church,
yes,
right? So I'm just curious what services you have available there.
Well, on Sundays, of course, we have our Divine Liturgy, which is comparable to the Roman Catholic Mass. Okay. Yeah. There's a service before that called Matins, a preparation service. Many times the eve before, we have the great Vesper services, and those are the three services for the main worship service of the Divine Liturgy. Okay. We have other devotional services. In fact, every Tuesday evening, we do a devotional service to our saints, Raphael, Nicholas, and Irene. And why do we do them on Tuesday? Because this is when they martyred, when they were killed. And so we remember that, and we do this devotional service for healing on Tuesday evenings.
Okay, awesome. So, because I think the church and the chamber have kind of similar paths, meaning it's giving back, it's helping.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
So you're helping, you as helping the church, how does the church help the community? What different events do you have that are going on?
Yes, we try especially our ladies organization, which is called Philoptochos, Friends of the Poor. Okay. They do many things to outreach, to help those in need, not only within our own church, but in the community wide. Right now we have a project for Metropolitan Ministries. We're collecting clothing and other things for them.
Right.
We also have our youth group that does a collection of food, especially around this time.
Right.
And we take it to the food pantry that's right across the street from the church on Nebraska. We also they also do a fundraiser to help All Children's Hospital.
Okay. Well, that's interesting because you look at the chamber and we help with the food banks. We have a feast food bank, which is right down here on Nebraska. So it's interesting to see how churches, because sometimes people just think churches, they have mass on Sundays and maybe they have some other activities during the week for their church members, if you will. But I think churches do a lot more than a lot of people think. Helping the community in so many different ways.
Outreach is so important. Am I doing outreach right now?
Exactly, you are, because our audience is listening to us saying,
correct.
How is the church doing their outreach? How is the chamber doing their outreach? And I think we have those similar paths of how we can help.
Yes.
So, why did you become part of the Palm Harbor Chamber? I'm very curious because I know you're a new member, right?
Yes. Well, we wanted to align ourselves so that we could showcase ourselves and help the chamber whatever way we can, and then I'm sure that the chamber can help us like you're doing right now.
Yes, right. So do you have any different events that are coming up like in the December, Christmas time?
Yeah, we do a big I come from a theater background, so I try to use that as much as I can.
Good for you.
We do a big Christmas spectacular program, variety type program, and we always do it on the eve of Christmas Eve.
The eve of Christmas Eve.
Yeah, the eve of Christmas Eve, and
why is that?
Just something that I thought would be an appropriate day to do it, and because most everybody has everything else done, and everybody's had their programs and what have you. So I said, let's try that, and it's been very successful for the last 2 years. We incorporate our entire parish within it. We do a living nativity. We do a living nativity.
Nativity.
Yeah, a nativity scene, a living nativity scene, not just those statues that you see under tree, but we have actual people who become those figures, and we do a living nativity scene.
That's interesting.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm hoping our audience is understanding exactly what that's about. Can you
well, we've all seen the nativity scenes where you have the manger and Joseph and Mary and the baby and the wise men and the shepherd and the angels. Well, our parishioners undertake those roles, and then there's a procession coming in, beginning with Mary and Joseph, and then the shepherds and the angels and the wise men and what have you, and appropriate music is sung while that is being done, and then it freezes. And then so people can digest that scene.
Okay.
That
so
scene.
It's a scene.
And then we hear Silent Night.
Okay. Now then the theme will change.
Then when that's over, that's the end of our secular part. I mean our religious part, and then we do a secular part where we go outside. And we have a big sleigh. We do like a sleigh ride with a snow machine, and
all the kids and what have you.
For everybody will go outside to enjoy that part.
Awesome. That's very interesting. I just learned something new. So that's very cool. Very cool. I love that. Father James, talk to us about the Palm Harbor Greek Food Festival.
Oh, yes. Well, most of our parishes have what we call the Greek Food Festival. We had it in Saint at Holy Trinity in Clearwater. The other neighboring parishes also have it. And what we do, it's a festival of 3 days, and we offer our food, our pastries. We have our dance group that entertains. We have booths with artifacts and different things, and we have tours of our church, of our Byzantine church, and we present that for 3 days. And of course, it is It is a fundraiser for the church,
Right.
but we also are able to express and share with the community at Wise our Greek Orthodox, and our cultural background
Okay.
with the people.
Yeah, because I could see the Palm Harbor Greek Food Festival was going to be Friday, February 20th, and Saturday, and also Sunday.
Yes,
So, and that's going to be at the on the church's grounds.
correct.
So it's 1010 Revere Road in Palm Harbor.
Right next to the library.
All right. So let me I want to take maybe a step or two back, because obviously I grew up in Palm Harbor, but I went to Tarpon Springs, and a lot of my friends are Greek, right? So they always had a lot of things going on in
At the cathedral.
at the cathedral. And I just wanted to just speak a little bit more about the kind of the Greek church to give people a different sense of what happened back in the day when the Greeks came down and moved to Tarpon. Why did they move to Tarpon? Is it because of the sponge docks?
It was because the sponge docks, right?
I don't know if you have any history on that.
Drew a lot of people to come there to work the sponging. A lot of them came from the island of Kalymnos, which is a Greek island, and that was one of their primary work there was the sponging.
Yeah.
Some came from the Bahamas because some of them went to the Bahamas and did that there.
Okay.
And then they came over here because it became a very lucrative job for them. And so with that many Greeks there, they decided that they developed their community, they developed their church, they developed many things, and they became part and parcel of Tarpon Springs.
Yeah, because they're like the signature,
Right.
I guess I want to call them people, but maybe it's not the right word, but that
Groups,
groups,
ethnic groups of
maybe ethnic groups, maybe that's probably a better term.
of Tarpon Springs, right?
They were put on the map many years ago,
And
they
of
have
course,
just grown exponentially.
And of course, what the focal point every year is the Epiphany celebration.
Right, that's in February, right?
Right. No, in January the
January,
6th.
sorry.
January the 6th.
January 6th.
And this
Correct.
is when we toss the cross into the bayou, and our young men dive for it, and whoever retrieves that cross has the blessing for the year,
Right.
And this has become a national event.
Oh, yes,
it has. It's publicized and shown worldwide.
Yes.
And this is why the Archbishop of the Greek Orthodox Church from New York comes down and presides at the service, along with the local metropolitan or bishop from Atlanta and the priest of the Greek priest of the area.
It's an amazing spectacle. I've been, I'm going to say 10 or 12 different times.
Well, I've been here for 34 years, and I've been involved in every one of them. Right.
Cold weather, warm weather,
rainy weather, what have you.
Yeah. So that's very interesting. So I know you just became a new member of the Palm Harbor Chamber, and you really haven't been to many events, if any, right? So I just wanted to kind of give you a little bit of history from our side, because the chamber is designed, I think, in my opinion, is to help build your brand for your business, build relationships with people like you and I are creating a relationship, but also give back to our community. And I think that's what's interesting about the church itself is that you have a lot of avenues that really help outreach programs that help our community, because not everybody is as fortunate as some, right? So they need food, they need clothing, they need help in so many different ways. I think that's where the chamber really comes into play, because if you know or you don't know, the chamber is actually unincorporated. Palm Harbor is unincorporated.
Yes, correct.
So we don't have a city hall to kind of make our decisions, if you will.
Right.
So the Palm Harbor Chamber kind of steps into that role to help facilitate what is going on in our Palm Harbor Chamber. But to be a little bit more specific, is having all these events from January to December. We have a lot of different events that can cater to a lot of different people. We have golf tournaments, we have the Palm Harbor the Palm Harbor Fest, which is kind of like a festival, which we had record numbers here last year. I didn't know if you were ever attended, but I think we had about 35,000 people that came here over the weekend. Granted, it was 70 degrees and it was perfect weather. I'm sure that really helped. But it was great to see.
No, I did see the streets blocked off for that.
Yeah,
yes.
and it's great to see the community come out and have fun. The kids, the families, playing all the
That's
different
what it's
games.
all about.
It really is. And some of the money going back to the food pantries, because there is a few food insecurity in our area.
Yes, there is. Unfortunately, there is.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think that's where a lot of our chamber members try to help out in volunteering or opening up their pocketbook and giving some money back to help with whatever they can help with. So,
and of course, that's our mission too. I would be a little remiss if I didn't say to you or talk to you a little bit about this Church of St. Raphael, Nicholas, and Irene itself. Where did it come from? We had all the churches here in the area, but there was a group that from the island of Mytilene or Lesbos, and that's where these saints are from. And they gathered together and they wanted to start a new parish. And so finally it was decided that they would do that. And they bought a house. The house was where the church is now, and they gutted it out and they made it a church. And so it was fine until one day I was watching television. I noticed all these fire engines, and I said to my wife, "That's St. Raphael." So I immediately got dressed and rode over, and they had a terrible fire that destroyed
how long ago was this?
This was maybe 8 years ago, maybe more than that, 10 years ago. And so they had to move from there, and they went, the library was very kind to give them the room to, in fact, I had served a couple of times at the library for them. Then they went to storefronts. And then where the house was, there was a house next door, and they wanted to buy it desperately, but the owner would not sell. Finally, he decided to sell, and he sold, and so they did the same thing with that. They gutted it out and they made it into a church. In the meantime, they retrieved enough money from the insurance and fundraising to build the new church. And so where the old house was is where now the new church stands.
Oh, okay.
And when I joined them, I was in the house for 1 year, and then we moved into the new church. Now, the way this church is built is it was built by all Greek artisans, and everything in it is from Greece. In fact, the marble that we use in the church is from the quarry that built the Parthenon. Same marble. The church looks like...
That was the only way they were going to do it, right?
Yes, right. The only way they were going to do it. The church looks like a village church in Greece that was picked up and brought over and sat down on the land there. So that's what we're trying to emulate. And right now, it's a work in progress. Right now, we're trying to finish the outside of the church with the stoning and doing the roof and the dome. And we have to seal very quickly and treat that rebarb that's there so it doesn't rot out inside, and then we would have plenty of problems. So that's our project right now, is to finish the outside. And we can't do much on the inside as far as frescoing and putting the icons up because we don't want leakage.
Right.
So
are you doing a fundraiser for that?
We're in the middle of fundraising for. In fact, yesterday there's a private group of Greek people who have a memorial golf tournament every year.
Okay.
And they were from Detroit, my hometown. They're from Detroit, and they used to do this tournament up there in memory of one of their young people who was killed in a horrific car accident. So they remember him by doing this, and then the proceeds they give to a charity. Well, this year they decided to do the golf tournament here. They did it yesterday, and the proceeds will go to the church
Good.
to help in the restoration of the
Finishing up,
outside. Yeah.
Okay, that's fantastic.
Uh-huh.
So it's interesting just to bring all those people together, go play golf, have fun, create a fundraiser, and bring those proceeds back to the church.
And as I said, when I said earlier about doing that service every Tuesday night, well, we also are the home of the relics of the saints. When our church was
Please
built,
explain.
huh?
Please explain.
Okay, the relics are the bones of the saints.
Okay.
So these saints had been kind of disappeared. They didn't know where the remains were, and finally it was they appeared and said to some people where they could find the remains, and they did. And so then they were placed in this monastery on the island of Lesbos or Mytilene, and there are two churches in America with this name, us and another church in Georgia. So they said whoever builds a church first, they would give the relics to. And so we were first, and so
Okay.
we received the relics.
Wow, this is a history
and they
lesson
are
today.
enshrined in the church.
Okay.
And so we are the home of the relics.
Okay. Awesome. So when do you think? When do you think the ETA of when the church will be finished?
I don't know. It'll take. We're a work in progress. We hopefully that next year we will be able to finish the roof and the dome and the stoning, and then once we do that, that might take I don't know a year or so to do. Then we'll move on to the inside. But it all takes that almighty buck.
It does.
It takes that dollar.
Well, speaking of dollar or dollars,
Yeah.
our audience is listening, and then maybe they want to donate. Is there somewhere they can donate that money to?
Yes, if they would like to help, they can send a donation to St. Raphael, Nicholas, and Irene. We're at 1100 Riviera Road
Okay.
in Palm Harbor.
Okay. Is it 1010 Riviera Road?
Yeah, it's 1010. Well, we
1010.
have 1010 is the house, 1100 is the church.
Church.
Yeah,
Okay.
either address works.
Okay. Is there like a website they can go to? Any kind of link there, or
Yes, we do have a website. Do you have maybe you have it there, maybe it's on the flyer for the festival.
Well, I know they can go to the Palm Harbor Festival at gmail.com for emailing us.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I know you have a phone number to contact Alex
Right.
at 727-798-7785. So, but I tell you what, this has been a history lesson for me. I'm just being
But I hope I didn't bore you.
No, not at all. No, I thought I love history. It's very interesting, and growing up with the Greek population,
Yes.
going to school there, it's interesting to always go downtown and drive by the sponge docks.
Yes.
I don't know what it is. It's got a different feel to it, and you see all the big, huge boats, and they pipe in there. It seems like the boats have been there.
You're taken back into time.
I know, you're taking back into time. It is, because when you see those guys on the side of the boats, they got all their nets and everything like that, and you see the sponges, it's like, wow, I feel like I'm back in the 1970s.
Yeah.
You
Absolutely.
Really,
Remember that movie was made there about the sponge divers. What was it? Beneath the 12-Mile Reef, was it?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and you watch those guys. You get a little bit closer, because if there's a walkway, and they obviously have all the boats anchored up there, you can actually you look in the boats, you can kind of see all their equipment.
Right.
They got to put all the helmets on and all that
Absolutely.
good stuff.
Absolutely.
So it's really cool. So it's very interesting that they go out and get the sponges. They started this, I don't know, 50, 60, 70, 80 years ago, pulling up sponges. And now it's a massive business for downtown Tarpon. But I also like the authentic food of the Greeks.
Well, you come to our festival, you'll get that.
Yes, you will. And again, Palm Harbor Greek Food Festival, Father James actually brought me this flyer. Thank you for doing that. Friday, February 20th and 21st and 22nd. It's actually going to be in the church's ground. Again, 1010 Riviera Riviera
Road.
Sorry, Riviera Road in Palm Harbor.
Right.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Anything else? What makes you tick though?
What makes
What
me
makes you
tick?
Well, I know outreach and helping people, but is there anything else that kind of just makes you, like when you talk the gospel and you talk to people?
People say, when are you going to retire? I'm 84 years old.
84?
Yes.
Good for you.
And I'm still going strong.
Good for you.
And I think if I stop, I don't know what would happen.
Well, I bet with all the 54 years that you've been doing this, it probably warms your heart to help people.
It does. It
I
does.
mean, it really
Whenever
probably
I
makes you
can,
really
yes.
feel good.
Yes.
And that's why it's interesting, the parallels with the church and the chamber. It's really nice to help people that are challenged or in need of food or whatever the case may be. It's nice to give back.
And and many of them are in need, not physically, but spiritually, and so a lot is done there.
That's and the spiritual part is not for everyone, right?
No.
But for those that might want to think about becoming more spiritual, here you are.
Absolutely. Our doors are open.
Saints Raphael, Nicholas, and Irene Greek Orthodox Church. And I'll take one step back again. How do we come up with those three names for the Greek Orthodox Church?
Those were the three saints.
Those were the three saints,
The three
correct.
saints that martyred on that. It was the Tuesday after the resurrection of Jesus Christ, and they were martyred there by the Turks coming in and slaughtering the monastery where they were. And it was a priest, a deacon, and a 12-year-old girl who had come with her father to visit the monastery, and they came in and did a number on them. And so, like I said, they were hidden for many years, but then they appeared to some people telling them where they could find the relics, and the relics were then an interesting little story. They were put in a bag, the bones, and somebody came along and tried to move the bag and couldn't, and tried kicking it, and their leg was paralyzed.
Interesting.
So we hold them in great reverence, and they've done a lot of miracles of healing, and so that's why we do that service of healing for those who believe.
Yeah.
For those who believe.
Yes, exactly. Well, Father James, I just want to thank you for coming here and talking to us a little bit about the Greek Orthodox Church. I really do appreciate it. For me, again, it was a history lesson. So it's good to learn a little bit more about. And I can't believe you're 84 years old and you are doing great. So kudos to you.
It's going to the gym every
There you go.
times a
Going to
week.
the gym, eating right for the most part, right?
Right.
But I'm glad that now you guys as a church are members of the chamber. Hopefully see you guys, because I know you're newer members. I'm hoping to see you guys out in different events. And I'd love to introduce you to a lot of different people.
Thank you. I'd appreciate that.
I know you like to help.
Yes.
I like to help. So we have those kind of
Very good. Well,
similarities.
we're very proud of our church. It's going to be, when it's finished, it's going to be a jewel in the
There you
area.
go. Well, Father James, thank you so much. Again, audience at home, there's it's called the Saints Raphael, Nicholas, and Irene Greek Orthodox Church. And they're located on 1010 Riviera Road in Palm Harbor. Again, Father James, thank you so much.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
It. Nice meeting
I
you.
appreciate it. Thank you for this opportunity.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Palm Harbor Chamber newsletter for updates and the next episode. A big thank you to our trustees for their incredible support. This podcast was produced by ABS Photo and Video.